Have you ever noticed that the less someone responds to you, the more you want them to? Not their love, not their care, just their attention. You send a message, nothing. An hour passes, still nothing. And instead of moving on, you check your phone again and again. You tell yourself you're not going to text first this time. You do anyway. This isn't weakness, and it isn't bad luck. It's a pattern. One that was built long before this person ever existed in your life. Stay with me because by the end of this, you're going to understand exactly why your brain does this, and more importantly, how to stop it. Let's start with a scene, not from your childhood necessarily, but one that might feel familiar. A parent who was warm sometimes and distant other times. Not cruel, not absent, just inconsistent. One day they'd scoop you up full of affection, the next they'd be too tired, too distracted, too somewhere else. You didn't get a say in which version of them showed up, so you learned to watch, to read the room, to predict the mood before it happened. You became an expert at noticing tiny shifts, a tone of voice, a change in posture, because your safety, your sense of being loved, depended on catching it early. And here's the part nobody tells you, that hyper-awareness didn't go away when you grew up. It just found a new target. Psychologists call this intermittent reinforcement. It sounds clinical, but the concept is simple, and once you understand it, you'll see it everywhere. Imagine two versions of a slot machine. One pays out every single time you pull the lever, the other pays out randomly, sometimes yes, sometimes no, no pattern at all. Which one do people get addicted to? Not the first one, the random one. Because when a reward is unpredictable, your brain doesn't relax, it fixates. It starts chasing the possibility of the payout, not the payout itself. Now replace the lever with a text message. Replace the payout with attention from someone you like. Someone warm one day, distant the next. Someone who replies fast sometimes and disappears for days other times. Your brain isn't chasing love. It's chasing the unpredictability. It's playing the same slot machine it learned to play as a child. Let me give you a real example, one that might sound familiar. Someone starts talking to a person who seems a little guarded, a little hard to read. At first it's exciting, mysterious even. Weeks pass. Sometimes this person is present, funny, engaged. Other times they vanish. No explanation, no closure. And instead of walking away, the other person starts trying harder, sending better messages, being more interesting, more available, more understanding. Why? Because on some unconscious level, this feels familiar. It feels like home. Not because it's healthy, but because it's what love looked like the first time they learned what love was. Here's the twist, and it's an uncomfortable one. You don't fall for people who ignore you because you don't value yourself. You fall for them because your nervous system mistakes anxiety for chemistry. That racing heart when they finally text back, that's not romance, that's relief. Relief that the uncertainty is over, for now. And your brain, having no way to tell the difference between relief and genuine connection, labels it as love. This is why calm, consistent people can sometimes feel boring at first. There's no puzzle to solve, no mood to predict, no urgency. And if your nervous system was trained on unpredictability, stability can feel like the absence of chemistry, when really it's the presence of safety. So what do you actually do with this? The first step isn't fixing your taste in people, it's recognizing the sensation. The next time you feel that pull, that urgent need to check your phone, to send one more message, to figure out why they went quiet, pause. Ask yourself, is this excitement or is this anxiety wearing excitement's clothes? That question alone won't fix everything. But it's the first crack in a pattern that's been running on autopilot for years. Because here's the truth, you were never chasing the wrong people by accident. You were chasing a feeling you know, a feeling that once meant survival. But you're not that child anymore. You don't need to predict anyone's mood to stay safe. You get to choose consistency now, even if at first it feels unfamiliar. And maybe that unfamiliar feeling isn't boredom. Maybe it's just the first time you're finally safe.